Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hot Seat Saturdays here with Women Empowered MN LLC. Today we have Miss Candace. We will be talking about what it is that she's doing, and we can go from there. Hi, Candace.
Hello.
I can't hear.
Oh no.
Hi,
Did it pause?
ladies. Is anybody talking to me? I can't hear.
Can you hear us?
Okay. Oh, Lord, have mercy. God be with us. I can hear you now.
Candace,
Okay.
can you tell us a little bit of what you do?
Yes. So, hello, everybody in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you watch it from. My name is Candace Lee. I am the owner of Queen's Garden as well as Lee's Tax and Professional Services. So my first business is my baby. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Lee's Tax Services, and then I'll go into talking about my baby. So Lee's Tax and Professional Services has been in business now for 12 years. It really started with a skill, and I try and teach my kids that people will pay you for your skills. My dad actually taught me how to do taxes, and I've been doing taxes back when there was no computer. I was doing it on hand when it was just hand forms. And so it was something that my dad taught me how to do, and I guess the gift and the knowledge lives on, and I just started to do it for friends. And it grew from there. I had, one friend tell another friend, and that friend told another friend, and here we are today, 12 years later. I made it open to the public.
Amazing.
Yes, that's great. Can you tell
Anybody?
us, like, maybe how much do you charge for your tax services?
I apologize. It seems like I'm having trouble today. I actually turned off my fan, and I'm in here burning up.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Can you tell the audience
But
about how much you charge for services?
Oh, Lord, I'm so sorry.
Struggling.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, maybe you guys just sound like robots to me. So yeah, that's a little bit about Lee's Tax and Professional Services. Within the 12 years, I was able to grow my business. I actually did start renting a space probably maybe 6 years into the business so that I could get a presence out in the community. A friend, another Black business owner, was so kind to not charge me a dime. He allowed me to set up an office right within his company. And so that was kind of my first public appearance. But you know what? I realized that I really like being at home, because it's about the work-life balance. And so I actually transitioned my business, to an online-based business. People are welcome to drop off documents, fax, but that's thank God for the advancement of technology. Everything's done by the computer. I work from a secure portal where people fax, email, documentation, and I'm able to do everything right here in the comfort of my own home, which also gives me an excellent tax benefit, which I try and tell everybody that I know, girl, boy, start you a business right at home. All these side hustles, that people have, you know, I'm trying to convince them to go legit with it because there's really a benefit to running a business from home.
I have a question for you, Candace. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Veronica speaking. I'm excited to have you here today. I have a question. I wanted to know, as a Black woman, um, what's the most helpful tool that you use to grow your business? You've been in business, you say, for 12 years, and the business grew. What do you think caused the growth in your business?
Oh Lord. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to hear you because I know you guys can hear me, but you sound like a robot. So I'm trying to piece that together. You said as a Black woman in business.
Yep, I said, what is the most helpful tool that you use that contributed to your business growth? So what do you think that you did that helped your business to grow the way that it did?
You said what was the helpful tool to help my business grow?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. All right. Well, you know what? The first rule of thumb is customer service. Um, so that's going to be the number one thing. A lot of people get into business and, you know, they're so focused on the craft itself, they forget that you don't have a business unless you present yourself accordingly and treat the people right. You know what I did though? I took my skills from corporate America. I worked in sales pretty much, you know, my whole life. My dad was a salesman. I was with him when I was 4 or 5 years old, and he would peddle items on the street to people. And to this day, he's still a salesman. So I kind of started my career out in corporate America in sales, and and they were big on customer service. We would take these trainings every 3 months. And I mean, they would just pound customer service into our head. And so it was something that I took from corporate America to grow my business and said, well, if it's important to this big, huge corporation and they are where they are, then it has to be an important factor. I mean, really, they drilled it into our heads. And so I called places and I mean, they kind of spoiled me because, I'll call places and I'm like, what in the world? We would get marked down if we said something crazy like that. So essentially, I just took my skills from corporate America and utilized it in my own business. And really, so word of mouth. Word of mouth is my biggest customer. And I tell people, it's kind of a tagline when it comes to my tax business that the biggest compliment that I could ever receive is a referral. And so, and I say, if I've done a good job for you, just tell one person. That's all I need you to do. And I started out with, just a few people when I, really went public. And here's a big thing that everybody who wants to start a business should know. Don't depend on your friends to support you because you're going to be highly disappointed. And it's an expectation that we have when we go into business. I remember I started with some girls that I met in a tax group, and they were like, "Girl, come on and join our company," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I remember they kind of laughed at me because at this time I was a part of a church community, and I was an avid part of the church family. There 4 days a week doing Bible study, this, that, and the other. And in my mind, I literally thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to join y'all because I'm going to have over 200, 250 clients in the door. And they kind of chuckled at me like, they had been doing it a little while, like, yeah, right, and I was like, I was for certain that because I was a part of this community, that automatically equated support. And I got a rude awakening within the first week, my grand opening of business. And virtually none of them supported me. And my feelings were so hurt. I just couldn't understand. I mean, in fact, I heard some of them gathering, talking about getting their taxes done and taking them over to H&R Block. And, you know, so young in business, I stayed in my feelings a whole lot until I woke up and realized that they don't owe me nothing. And a business is hard work, and you got to get out there and you got to grind and you got to get it for yourself. And don't get me wrong, I have plenty of friends and family that do support me, but it honestly took some time. You know, people want to see what you can do. You know, finances is a sensitive subject. Everybody don't want you to know how much money they make or not make. You know what I'm saying? So once I got out of my feelings, that's when I was really able to grow. I started thinking of ways to get myself out there. Like I said, I approached a business and said, hey, would you be willing to rent me space? And so when I stopped worrying on who wasn't supporting me and really started doing my work to grow the business, that's when it started to grow.
I think that's really important information to have and something to know, because they said that a client will become a friend before a friend becomes a client. That's just the way that it is. So thank you for sharing that with us.
You said the client. Lord, y'all, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm like, Lord, and I said everything want to go wrong, but you know what? I said the devil is a liar. I'm gonna get on there if I had to, like this, and hold the phone up.
He's a hater. He always trying to come in between something great, but we're gonna rebuke him right now in the name of Jesus, and we're gonna continue to carry this on.
Absolutely.
Because it's great information and we need it and the world needs it. So
I had a question, Candace.
I honestly can't hear what you're saying, so I'm gonna go just pause and take breaks in between so you guys can, voice opinions, and I'll keep trying, but I'll keep talking too. So that was something important that I really want to people to understand. Word of mouth, like I said. So I was able to go from just a couple of people on a personal level to right now, fast forward 12 years, I got about 150 clients. I'm only one person. So, I mean, I'd love to take the world, but I'm one person. But, along the way, I've actually tried to jump many young ladies of color into this business, like to help me. And I've had people tell me, yeah, Candace, I want to help out. And, but somehow they fall along the wayside. And, it's a complex thing. I have to admit, taxes is not fun in any form or fashion. It's a lot of thinking, a lot of studying. And I mean, there's millions of tax codes. So, I mean, I personally only tip the surface. Another thing that I wanted to say about my business, I'm not a CPA. So I want women and men alike who are interested to start a business to stop letting your fears get in the way. Because I said, well, who's gonna, I don't have a CPA, but I believe a good word says that your gift will make room for you. And so I believe that I said, I don't have a CPA, but I have an understanding of taxes. So what's the worst that can happen? So you always have to sharpen your skills. And I said, well, I'm not getting ready to go do 4 years of college to be an accountant. What's the fastest way to get to that route? So like I said, you have to keep your skills brushed off and get a deeper understanding. So I just started taking tax courses. I just paid those, and I do my continuing education classes every year because tax laws change. I was able to get certifications that say I'm qualified to do taxes. And then I wanted to set myself apart because I'm not a CPA. I took it one step further and I started taking classes that allowed me to get into the IRS's database as a trusted source for processing tax returns. So if you go to the IRS database right now, my name will come up and say, hey, she been certified by us, you know, to do taxes. I'm not a CPA, but I did the work that was required in order for at least the IRS to trust me enough to say, well, she has a general knowledge of taxes. And, you know, so you put my name right up in there, put in my zip code, boom, there I am. I don't need to be a CPA in order to achieve the same level that a CPA has. I just have to believe in myself and make sure that I'm doing a knowledgeable job. I'll never take a job that I can't do. Like I said, I don't know it all. And because I'm not a CPA, nobody wants to turn away business, but my reputation is more important to me than a dollar. So if I honestly, wholeheartedly can't process your tax return, then I'm going to refer you to somebody else who can.
Can you tell us a little bit about Queen's Garden?
Absolutely. Now, here's where we get down to the nitty gritty. I love Lee's Tax Service, and I appreciate all my, customers. And what I want to say about that is being in that business for such a long time, I was, with my sales skills, I was actually able to do what you call cross-sell. So I was able to already take a clientele that I had with Lee's Tax Services and say, hey, I make all these wonderful products. And when people trust you, they trust you. So I was able to even go right into Queen's Garden with, a few clients just because they had already trusted me on the Lee's Tax Services front. So yeah, but Queen's Garden. So Queen's Garden was actually born in 2020. And it started with a bet to my youngest son. So as I said, I am passionate about people becoming entrepreneurs. Everybody's got a little entrepreneurial spirit in them, but everybody can't be a successful entrepreneur because it takes a lot of work. And if you're not dedicated, so I just told you that I'm here in the kitchen. In order to hear you, I turned off my fan. So it's probably 90 degrees in my kitchen right now. But you know what? I'm doing what I love to do. So it was born from a bet from my youngest son. I was explaining to him. So actually in 2020, when we was all stuck at home and a lot of businesses were born in 2020, people tapped in, to the greater self and to their real purpose. When that job said, you stay home, we don't need you right now. People couldn't make no money. They start tapping into those gifts. So businesses are born out of a need. What do people need? What do people want? So I was just having a conversation with my, teenager, and I told him that people will pay you for your skill. And, because I was trying to get him to figure out, he was graduating. He was then a junior in high school. And I was trying to get him to figure out what did he want to do with his next steps in life. And, his older brothers kind of started at McDonald's and Holiday. And I was telling him, you ain't got to start and punch out nobody's clock. You can start as an entrepreneur, and so the conversation started with people will pay you for a skill. And I said, for example, now I didn't start gardening in 2020. I was for years posting all my vegetables on social media and all the time. So people started asking me questions like, "Ooh, how do you grow that? Well, what kind of fertilizer do you use? And oh my God, look at your harvest." And then I would, make the meals with the vegetables, and they're like, "Ooh, that look good." And so for years, this was my love. This is what I love to do. So I love to showcase it, and I'm passionate about health. So in this bet, I told my son, I said, well, like, and I said, for example, I said, gardening is a skill. I said, everybody don't have a green thumb or the patience to do all of that. So not only do I grow the vegetables, then I turn around and make products out of the vegetables that I grow. So it's a long process and dedication. But I told him, I'll bet. I told him I'll make a bet with you. So to prove my theory, I said, because I would make them pickles and stuff. And I said, you know how you love my pickles? I said, I bet you there's a whole lot of other people that would love my pickles too. And I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make some pickles. I'm gonna just put it up on Facebook for kicks to see if anybody would be interested. That post blew up. I was shocked. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, to be honest, I was trying to prove a point to him and shock myself. And so that is how that business started, but it kind of started, really before the name happened. So I said, okay, wow. So people will pay for my skill, for my product. And so I said, well, now I need a name. And simply put, Queen's Garden. So my name is Candace, and my name actually translates to Ethiopian Queen. So Candace's Garden, Queen's Garden. So it couldn't have been more perfect. So thus the name was born, Queen's Garden. And actually, I am in the kitchen. And I wanted to kind of show y'all some of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm in here burning up. But this is my passion. This is what I love to do. So it started with pickles. But are you speaking, Devin? I only see you on the screen. Oh, okay. So it started with pickles. And then I make all my own kind of herbs, dried herbs. So then I was doing seasonings, and I make this pepper jelly, so I just started thinking about all the stuff that I'd make for my family that they really love. And I said, well, if they love it, then everybody else gonna love it too. And it's only what we're working on. So it's actually born in August of 2020. So it's Queen's Garden. She's still a baby, and she's growing. I've done the farmer's market. I'll do another farmer's market at the end of the summer here. That's what I'm kind of in preparation doing right now. So I sacrificed a lot of my summer days to be in a hot kitchen, slaving over products. But truly, I don't feel that way because it's my passion. It's nothing. My heart flutters when people taste one of my products and they be like, "Ooh, girl, that's so good." And I don't really have a specific tagline yet, but one thing is for sure that I find myself saying often is that I believe in the healing power of the plant. So I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegetarian. I'll still eat meat, but majority of my meals are plants. So I'm kind of a self-proclaimed herbalist. I started to just study plants and the medicinal benefits of so many plants. And you know what? I've never given anybody else a product that I don't truly take for myself. Because I got to know how this stuff works before I, give it to the public. So I'm going to see if I'm going to pause and shut up because I could talk this whole hour because I can't hear y'all, but I'm going to see if somebody have a question.
Can you tell us about your sea moss?
Yeah, actually, I was going to get to that. So today I'm in the kitchen and today has been a day of making all kinds of products. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of who Queen's Garden is. So I'm gonna just turn the camera around if I know how to do that. Hold on, I not recognize my, oh Lord, I don't see how to do that. So we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to work it out. So we're gonna do it from this view. Can y'all see that? Oh, now I can see a little bit better. All right. So right now, all right, here. So here goes some of the herbs that I make, you know, and all of this stuff, 100% of what you see grew in Queen's Garden. I believe in organic products. I don't use pesticides. You know, I mean, health is important to me. And so these are just some of the products and, you know, spices. So when I make products, I like to season it with things that I authentically grew in my garden. So this is just like some oregano and fresh thyme, cilantro. And these are some of the spices that I use for my pickles. Let's see. And so today I actually, so this stuff right here, like I say, I try and do everything organically as possible. So this right here is actually some homemade fertilizer that I made out of, let's see, over here, out of banana peels. So there's potassium and calcium in the banana, and most times people just throw this in the garbage, but herein lies where most of the nutrition is in the skin of the fruit, and a lot of people don't know that. So I've been spending all day today drying items, making spices. Let's see. So I got my peppers here and roses, and chamomile. And so I dry all these flowers, and then I'll make, you know, teas out of things. I'm the hot pepper queen. I love some hot stuff. So I grow peppers of all kinds. There's Carolina Reapers in here, ghost peppers, Trinidad scorpions. I mean, we got the hottest of the hottest right here. Okay, I like to set stuff on fire. I'm from Chicago, you know what I'm saying? We like hot stuff. And so here, this is where, can you see it? So this is today, just like I say, I was drying a bunch of different herbs. That's sage. I love the taste of fresh sage. Every year we used to fight over getting sage for Thanksgiving for the dressing, but I said, well, I don't got them problems no more. I'm gonna grow my own. And I was just actually, so I used like a grinder. As you can see, I grew this, and then eventually it'll turn into spices. Let's see, what do we got going on over here? So I got kale chips. These are the bomb. I grew these. Like I told you, everything that you see, I grow. So I'll make a kale chip, and then I'll so here's that. Here goes those peppers, all grinded up and turned into powder. So I make it in the seasoning, and I'll just sprinkle it right on top and give it a little kick. I make, let's see, tomato sauce. Here we go. So the tomatoes have been de-skinned already. Process of making tomato sauce. After you got to get the skin off. So you have to boil it and then bring it back up to temperature, cold, so that the skin peels off. And in Queen's Garden, we don't let nothing go to waste. So what I do after I get the skin off, actually I dehydrate this and turn it into tomato powder. and it's great for thickening sauces, making an instant tomato soup. And so this was, I was going to show you, I had more kale for the kale chips. I was actually just going to go ahead and stick it right on in the dehydrator. So essentially that's kind of the process to get those to turn into a potato chip. And this is such a great alternative to eating Lay's and all that. I don't know if you heard that crunch, baby, but and I already put some spices on there. And of course, I was in the process of, this is what's making the kitchen so hot. I'm actually canning pickles. So this is the process. They got given what's called a water bath. Oh, I must have kept, so I have to keep them in the refrigerator until the cucumbers are nice and cold and crispy. So those have already been seasoned a little bit. And then this is the vinegar solution that makes the pickle taste like the pickle. And got a couple of my spices floating around in there. And then I told you I make everything hot. And so this is what I'll put inside of the pickle to give it the additional garlic and heat flavor. And then, so I told you I believe in healthy things. I learned about sea moss and I started taking it, and it kind of somewhat changed my life. I used to suffer from IBS, even despite, eating a lot of plants and things like that. But what I was able to learn along the way is once I stopped eating dairy, a lot of those things also kicked into gear. But the sea moss was a lifesaver for me, sea moss gel. So I actually, during COVID, well, probably 2021, because I was taking it faithfully and I didn't get sick at all. And so I just said, hey, would anybody, this is what me and my family take to stay healthy. Would anybody else be interested? Once again, the response was overwhelming. So the sea moss gel, what can I say about it? It's said to have 92 of the 102 minerals in the body. I guess if not anything, I'm kind of truthful. So my quest for knowledge, I have to honestly say, it probably is not 92. That's kind of more of a sell, because essentially what sea moss is an algae. It's a sea plant. It basically is algae that lives in the sea. And so, like I say, in my search for knowledge, the sea probably has anywhere from about 35 to 45. Say that it probably has about 35 to 45 minerals, but that's still a whole lot. And I can't even tell you the response and testimonies of things that the sea moss gel are doing for people. I mean, it's shocking me. I get people calling me crying, saying, oh, I suffer from arthritis or headaches and high blood pressure, allergies. And so I'm just amazed on how it's helping people. And so what I really have been able to determine really is our bodies are missing these minerals. And once we get it, the body just starts to respond accordingly. Oh, you know what? One more thing I wanted to mention. I said I was waiting. We on women's issues, so I just turned 50 this year. This is my 50th year on Earth. So in that stage of life, many women are going through the change of life, and that's menopause. A lot of us are perimenopause or menopausal. So Like I said, I believe in the healing power of the plant, and the plant has gotten me through many, many days. So I make, like I said, I make my own teas. I was going to show you, I dry some of the flowers, red clover, dandelions, and I'll just, get it boiled, and you see the water changes colors. That means that the medicine has been infused into the water, and I'll just pour it in. And there goes the medicine right there. And people have been conditioned to think that weeds are, that there's a such thing as a weed. It's not true. The government and the mind control and the manipulation led us to believe that we should get all these chemicals and get rid of the dandelions and all this stuff for the sake of making our yards look beautiful, when really we've been destroying pure medicine. I have a garden ritual. I love roses, but a lot of people don't know that roses have amazing health benefits. I treat myself to rose tea every garden season. But like roses, they're not only pretty, they actually they're high in antioxidants and different polyphenols. They've actually been known to increase heart health. There's actually, it's been said that drinking rose tea actually heals a broken heart. I love rose tea. I make little tinctures. So these are all my little menopause remedies. Motherwort, making, I just got into making different tinctures. So yeah, that's Queen's Garden in a nutshell.
I love Queen's Garden. I do. It's so beautiful and so much information. And you make me want to try plants. You really do.
I make you want to try what?
Plants. You make me want to try plants and see what it's about. Like, it sounds very good.
Plants?
And thank you for sharing that. Plants, yes.
Oh, girl, you missing out. I mean, just like, they tell you to go to the store and eat your fruits and vegetables or whatever. I mean, that's true. Those are plants. But I was actually just sharing this with somebody recently. Being healthy is actually, it's really important to me, because it's just about really breaking generational curses. My mother and my grandmother both died from massive heart attacks. The stress of a Black woman is like none other. And it's so important that we take care of ourselves. And it's so true that you are what you eat. So I was determined that I was not going to leave this earth because of a massive heart attack. But I wasn't just going to talk about it. I was going to be about it.
I love that. And one thing too that I love that you said is about just generational wealth. And a part of wealth is health. We can do more if we're more healthy.
Absolutely.
We live longer if we're more healthy. Yeah, health is wealth. Exactly. So thank you for sharing that. I love that.
Can you hear
You
us?
don't appreciate health until you've been sick. Okay. And, just getting a little personal, somewhat despite my efforts to be healthy and to eat plants, I was actually just in the ER a couple of days ago, and they ran some tests. They gave me EKG, and I was confident, like, why are you bringing that thing in here? I already know my heart is 100 because I don't play. This is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. And sure enough, she came back and she was like, well, actually, you have a blockage in the right passage of your heart. I said, I know the devil is a liar. But then she started to, try and encourage me that, this is it can be common And actually, it could be nothing. Like you could live the rest of your life as a healthy individual, and this never does anything. And I told her, well, I appreciate you trying to encourage me. I said, but heart health is something that's near and dear to my heart. Not only did my mother and grandmother die from massive heart attacks, I just lost my oldest brother in 2021, and he also autopsy showed that he was suffering heart disease and had a couple of valves that were blocked. So, had the other ailment not taking him out, it looked like he was headed for a massive heart attack himself. So I looked it up. I started Googling, like, oh Lord, and to my surprise, it basically kind of said the same thing that the doctor said, that it could be nothing. You could live your whole life as a healthy individual, and this never affects you. But then it was like, oh, but if you get heart disease or a heart attack, it could be fatal. I'm like, oh, great. So I guess it's hereditary. That's what they say, that it can happen. But again, I speak against it. I'm going to be on the side of it's going to be nothing, because and she did say, well, you have to, make sure that you're intentional on how you eat, exercise. I said, well, lady, I'm already 3 steps ahead on that, and I said, boy, your body just want to start breaking down when you get older. I turned 50. I didn't always had a perfect bill of health, and turned 50, all of a sudden, all kind of stuff want to start going wrong with my body. But so yeah, I just wanted to say that and they say that heart disease is the leading cause of the death of a Black woman. So again, it is that much more important that we be intentional, about our health, and mental health included, because stress is a silent killer. So yeah, I probably done talked, but that's one thing about me. I am a blabbermouth. So I actually, when I'm making products and stuff like that, I kind of got to shut down. Even with the tax business, I got to shut my phones off and work, because as soon as I answer that phone, I start running my mouth.
We are grateful and appreciative of it. Can you hear me?
I can.
Good. We're grateful and appreciative of it. And I'm even more so grateful for the reminder of family history, because I'm about to be on somebody's booty in this household again. With that. So you are amazing, though. You are amazing, and you are somebody that I look up to and I adore. And I wanted to just have you on because you have so many gifts and so many things that the world needs. Like the world needs a Queen's Garden and Lee's Professional Tax Service. Like everybody needs to know what this is and what you do. So I love you, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, I love you too, and likewise, I'm proud of you and all the things that you're doing. We just got to get out here and live our dreams. There was another saying that I really like, is that you got to live full and die empty. So I want to leave it all on the table before I get out of here. I really wish that I had 10 of me, because I really can't even do all the things that I want to do. Like there's so much in me, but I'm gonna do what I can. And I've kind of learned to settle myself, because I find myself, that's what happens with creative people. You just be all over the place, but I had to remind myself that I'm only one person, and this is laborious. I don't really have any help, but there's next steps for Queen's Garden. And I speak into existence that those next steps, are going to involve some hands. And there was something else I was gonna say, and Lord have mercy.
Would you ever have a store? Would you ever have a storefront for it? Is that like in your foreseen future, like a storefront? Because I heard about these pickles the other day. Like these pickles were super amazing the other day. So I don't
Well,
know.
but I heard you maybe ask about next steps. So like I say, I always try and sharpen my skills. So I'm able to sell at this farmers market because I actually, a lot of people kind of look down on, like, I ain't getting nothing. She making that from her kitchen and things like that. But I actually am a licensed food cottage producer, so I'm licensed by the state to make. And I'm also, I took it a step further. I have a Serve Safe certification, so I understand, temperatures and sanitation. I'm a licensed food manager. So I do all of these things to give an additional boost of confidence to my customer to say, hey, look, I'm not just somebody, I'm serious about what I do. There's integrity in everything that I do. I'll even have my, I got gloves on, which I actually never even started in the kitchen and be like, do you really got on a hairnet and a mask? I was like, yeah, because I'm making this food for these people. And so he was like, wow, that's really integrity. Can't nobody see you, but you still following the rules.
Yeah.
Next steps. So, my next step really is, it's a dream of mine to be able to really offer my products to the world. And so the next steps really involve me getting a commercial kitchen and then really being able to retail my products and manufacture it, where I can be, online or on these different websites, or I shop a lot at Whole Foods and Mississippi Market Co-ops, and it's my dream. I go in there for organic products, and it's my dream to go in there and be able to open up the freezer and see one of my products on their shelf. So those are the next steps, and it's in the works. God willing, I'll get hands and resources.
I love it. I love it all. It's very motivational. Can you hear me?
I'm going to have to watch this playback. I'm going to have to watch this on the playback so I can kind of hear what y'all was saying. I mean, I got a little bit of it, but actually, I guess I'm just going to be watching myself because I sat up here and talked the whole time, didn't I?
But I think that might have been God's plan. That might have been God's plan. This is God's plan. You were meant to talk about your business. So, yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in closing, I just want to, tell anybody that's watching, that's thinking about being an entrepreneur, is to do it. And you're scared, do it anyway. And just believe in yourself. And, and here's just another thing, we're in this world of social media. So people get this false idea in their head that, oh, nobody's supporting me. I don't got no likes on my post. And there's times when I'll make a post, I won't get one like. But guess what? I'll get phone calls, text messages, inbox. So it might appear to somebody on Facebook, man, ain't nobody buying that. They lying. They buying it.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
Believe in yourself. Put in the hard work. Remember, customer service is key. You might have to take a couple customer service courses or something like that to really understand, how to treat people. But really, I think just everything in business is about a relationship. And, I tend to think I have a relationship with people. I know how to talk to people. I genuinely care for people. And I think all of that is really, what helped me to grow.
Amen.
Well, thank you for joining us. I enjoyed you, and I'll be looking for you on Facebook too. I'm gonna find you and follow you.
Okay, and I guess maybe oh Lord, you can find me on Facebook, Queen's Garden, and you'll see my logo. Where's my logo? Let's see. This is my. I know it was in the advertisement, but this is what you'll see if you visit Queen's Garden. It says Black Girl Magic in a Jar. And Reed Tax and Professional Services is how you can find me, both on Facebook.
Okay. Well, this was great, and I'm super, super excited to see what you do next. And we appreciate and are grateful for having you on.
Yep.
Totally. We like to pray out. Are you okay with us praying out? We want to pray over your business and just pray out together. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right.
You asking me to pray, or are you saying somebody else gonna pray?
If you feel led to pray, no, we'll pray. Veronica got it. Come on, V.
I can pray. I'll
Okay.
pray. All right,
Beautiful.
Heavenly Father, I just thank you for the opportunity to just fellowship with these women of God. And I just thank you for their vision, Lord, that you're raising up a group of women who care enough to reach out and to touch the next one, Lord. You know, these are the kind of people that you said that will rule the world, that we are the salt of the earth, which essentially means that we're going to lead the way. And I thank you for these women of valor. I've been tapping in, and I seeing some of the some of the topics that they're touching on, and they're important. Sometimes as women we put ourselves last, and by their work, women are starting to come out their shell and understand the value and the royalty that we represent, and that we're important, Father. That you made us to be a helpmeet, and that's not just to the man. Everybody that you're raising women up in order to do your work. And Father, I just ask for continued blessings for their business, for my business, that we reach the world, or the world that you want us to reach. It can start with one woman, two women. If two women receive the message, then Father, your work has been done. And I just want to thank you again for the opportunity. And I hope whoever sees this is inspired, Lord, that they're inspired to take the next step, to even do it afraid. Afraid and fear are two different things, but they can step out on faith and they can still do it afraid, and that you have your hand in everything, Father. And your word is true. It'll never return to us void. That you said in your word that our gift will make room for us. And Father, I just pray that any woman that's listening to this, that it resonates in their spirit, and that it awakens the gift in them, and it awakens the confidence in them. Father, nothing can be done without your approval. And I just thank you today that I'm standing here healthy to be able to share my love and the gift that actually comes from you, the plant. And I believe strongly and wholeheartedly that you've given us everything that we need on this earth to heal our bodies. Thank you, Father. Thank you for this time of fellowship.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Amen. All right, ladies, I'm in here burning up, so I'm going to let y'all go, and I'm going to keep this train moving. I'm hoping to be done probably within the next 2 hours.
Well,
All
God
right.
bless you. We'll be praying for you. Have a
Bless
good
you.
night.
Take care.
Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.